Okay, so we are now live on YouTube. Let's see if we do have our connection going. I believe that everybody can see my screen as well as my face. Welcome to another Crypto Empire live stream. This is a very special edition of a live stream because we are joined by the one and only Mimi, also known as Beach Dragon, directly from the Levana Protocol core team themselves. Mimi, welcome to the live stream. Thank you for being here. How are you doing today?
I am.
Have a connection going. I believe that everybody can see my screen as well as my face. Welcome to another.
I'm good. Thanks. It's so great to be here. Thanks for having me.
No problem. I can hear myself echoing. Is that
I just realized that. I'm sorry.
Okay, that was you.
Yeah.
Cool.
That was me. I apologize. That was my bad. I didn't know exactly how this was going to play. So, all right.
No worries. So from our live audience today, can you guys just please let us know in the chat if you guys can hear myself as well as Mimi and see my screen, because this is the first time that I am going live with this new computer setup with a Zoom guest. So just let me know in the live chat if everything is clear, you can hear everybody as well as see the screen. And then we'll continue forward because we do have a lot to cover in this live stream. We have the Levana Protocol team with us today talking about the future of the project. Of course, with the direction that it's headed after the big event that happened to Terra. So I'm very excited. I just want to make sure that all of the technical difficulties are sorted out. Perfect. Everybody can hear us. Awesome. Well, Mimi, it's time to get into the juicy details that everybody is excited about. Are you ready?
Absolutely. Let's go.
Awesome. All right. So from a member of Levana, basically, let's just go back a few weeks now to the collapse of Terra. We all know what happened. We don't need to get into the details of that.
Isn't it hard to believe that it was like a month ago?
Yeah,
I mean, it wasn't even a month ago. Less than a month ago. It feels like 2 years. Yeah.
Yeah, seriously. And now, of course, Terra 2.0 is live. A lot of talks about that. Everybody has mixed feelings. But from a core Levana team member, what is kind of just your overall thought process on what happened with Terra and, you know, what it means for Levana?
So I can speak to, for me personally, what it was like to be, I'm head of product at Levana, what that was like to go through that experience. I can't necessarily speak to, the Levana. I don't want to say that I'm going to represent Levana's voice. I think that would be unfair. But I can definitely say that I think we all suffered from a lack of comms and a lack of clarity as to what was happening. A lot of people assumed that there were other people or like other adults in the room or other people that knew things. And most of us were getting our information from crypto Twitter. We all know how dangerous that is. And I think that as a whole that, I believe in crypto. I've been in the crypto space since 2011. I bought my first Bitcoin in 2011. So I'm a long-term believer in crypto and I believe in DeFi. And at the same time, I think when you have an entirely decentralized organization and you don't have structures in place for disaster recovery and planning, that you can see exactly how things can quickly fall apart, where everybody's waiting for somebody else to take responsibility or to make a decision. And then there's analysis paralysis. And then all of a sudden things are spiraling out of control and nobody has information. And just, getting people on the line or talking to them, we all have Telegram, WhatsApp, whatever, but trying to get the right groups of people to talk to other groups of people and then have the same opinions. And I think that really smart actors probably took advantage of that scenario, and we've all suffered for it.
Yes, I do have to agree with you. I definitely think that, Terra had some cracks, and it was simply the cracks were exploited, right? And I don't think you can basically point fingers just yet at any particular group, but I don't think, a lot of people are saying, oh, it was an inside job, yada, yada, yada. I personally don't think that at all. I think that, a very smart group of people with a lot of capital went ahead and exploited the cracks in Terra, which then caused that collapse. But regardless of what happened, the deed is now done, and now we are left to rebuild from the aftermath, right? So no sense in dwelling over spilt milk, basically, and we have to keep on going.
So the only thing that I would say to that and contradict there is that I think when you're in a situation, and I've been in the startup field and in tech really for 30 years. So I've seen booms and busts You know, I've been through coding for Y2K. I've been through the .com bubble. You know, I've really been around the block.
Right.
And I think it's dangerous when you don't take a moment and reflect on what happened. You know, if all you're going to do is like, okay, let's move forward, let's just, you know, rebuild from here, and you don't take a moment and say, wait a second, you know, was there a fundamental flaw in the way that we built this? Was there a fundamental flaw in the way that we communicated? Was there a fundamental flaw in our thinking around this? Then it's just going to repeat itself.
Right.
And so I think it's dangerous not to at least admit that I think there were, you know, very fundamental structural flaws, and they have to be addressed, because if they aren't, it's obviously going to repeat itself, because, you know, I have a background in cybersecurity. So if you're always going to look for the weakest link in the chain, right? That's the easiest thing to do. And so, you know, when you're hunting for hackers or you're hunting for malicious actors, usually what happens is that they use the same exploit. Like,
right.
Typically, you know, people are like, no, they're, you know, everyone's like looking for new exploits. I'm like, no, actually, usually what they're doing is they're looking for exploits that haven't been patched. So if we don't patch this, if we don't really address this issue, I think that fundamentally there will be an ongoing problem that will be exploited, and to everyone's, you know, detriment.
Yeah, well said. I agree with you 100%. You definitely have to look at what went wrong and fix the issue, or else it will just keep on repeating itself. Just like lessons in life, if you don't learn from the lesson, it's going to keep on happening until you learn from it. So, well
Absolutely.
said. Awesome. Okay, so let's kind of get into Levana now, which I'm sure all of our viewers are interested in hearing about. So, Levana, obviously a DeFi protocol on Terra, perpetual swaps, leverage trading, as well as an NFT play-to-earn game. Luckily, or not luckily, because you guys planned ahead, you didn't have all of your eggs in one basket, right? And you had your treasury separated. So can you just kind of go over, you know, where the project stands and how you do plan on moving forward, as well as the damage that was done to, I guess, the treasury, because I know that, you know, a few million were lost from that as well.
Yes. So, you know, we've tried to be as transparent as possible. We lost about a third of our treasury. We lost about $6 million. It has been a tremendous blow, you know, to the project, to the team, to the community, because much of that money was earmarked for community rewards and for the gamification that we had been doing, like losing the royalties and losing the money from the meteor showers was really, you know, it was destructive in nature, in that the community just felt, you know, rugged or
right.
wrecked or, you know, really decimated. And it's hard to recover from that. Even if you have the funds, it's just hard emotionally to pick up a community and grieve and move on and recover. And so that's really been our focus. We've spent the last month, essentially, right? We've spent the last month really digging in our heels and saying the coolest thing about Levana was the community that we built and the products that we delivered and the experiences that we gave and the adventures that people went on and the relationships that they built. So while Rome is burning around us, let's continue to try to deliver on that. And so we have done, you know, nonstop AMAs. We've had a grieving channel. We have a meditative channel. We have a dance channel.
Yeah.
You know, we've got, like, we just today released Wrecked Dragons, which is like a funny exclusive mint for anyone that got wrecked on Terra with us. So we're trying to build into that sadness with a lot of strength and with a lot of humility. And so we do have runway left. You know, we're very lucky in that way that we've always believed in diversification. So we do have more than a year of runway, and you know, we're very grateful for the diversification and for our investors and advisors that, you know, we're adamant that be our policy, and it will always be our policy. And I think that's just good, you know, business policy. I know I've spoken to so many different groups and people and whatever, and they weren't diversified at all. And they were either, you know, holding everything in Luna or holding everything in UST, and you know, they're questioning their ability to continue. So
right.
That's not our situation at all. And in fact, we're being courted by a number of blockchains, you know, very aggressively, because we do both have the treasury and have that diversification, and also because we have so many different aspects to our products. We're not just one thing. We're not just a set of NFTs or a single DeFi protocol. So the future for me is very bright. Now I say that, knowing that people have lost their lives and that I personally was wrecked as well. There's nobody on the team, I think, that wasn't affected. Personally, we were believers in Terra. There's a reason that we built on Terra. We believe in DeFi. But at the same time, I truly believe that the future of Levana is so bright. I think I'm lucky that I get to work with some of the most creative, bright, talented, motivated people that I've ever met and ever had the pleasure to work with. And absolutely, we're all going to make it. And I don't say that lightly. I meet a lot of teams, and a lot of times people have great ideas, but they can't execute. Right. And I think that what Levana has shown is that we in the face of absolute, total adversity, we are continuing to execute. So, was it a week ago? It was last Thursday. Yeah. A week ago, we launched Dragon wallets, which are essentially like a luggage tag for your Terra wallet, let's call it. Yep. And it allows you, it'll allow you to work with us wherever we're going and to save your Levana NFTs. And then today we launched these Rec Dragons. So we've essentially launched a list. So if you create a Dragon wallet, then you will be entitled to get a Rec Dragon on the whatever chain we're going to. And the Rec Dragons have 13 different professions, and they're silly and they're whimsical, and we really wanted to, kind of, I don't know, like British humor, you say take the piss, but we really wanted to just laugh with the community and say, yeah, it sucks. And, thank God we didn't, some of us at least, this is my day job, but for some people, you didn't quit your day job. I guess that was a good thing. And, and kind of laugh at where we are and where we're holding. So there's a gardener and a dog walker and a sous chef and a YouTuber, and all sorts of funny professions that we there's somebody cleaning toilets, there's a toilet cleaning dragon, there's all sorts of professions that we sort of aligned ourselves with and said, this affected everyone, from the biggest whales to the smallest players, and we wanted to sort of celebrate that with humor and with a little bit of light. So
amazing, absolutely amazing. Yeah, so I'm in the same boat. A lot of what you just said is very similar. I also got hit pretty hard by the Terra collapse, but, luckily I was a little bit diversified, so it was not everything. But for sure, you feel it. So it is what it is, right? Like I said, you reflect on it. You can't cry over spilled milk. And, you guys are awesome because you are builders, right? You just take action and you deliver, which is why I'm such a big, proponent and supporter of Levana from the beginning, because I noticed that. And I've also been in the crypto space for not as long as you, from 2011. I was what, 13, 14 years old in 2011, right? So
don't make me feel old. That's okay. Yeah.
I wish I was, in my high school classes looking at crypto then. But anyway, I noticed very early on with Levana that you guys were the real deal. You were very serious. You knew what you were doing. You were different from every other crypto protocol out there, from every other project out there. And that's still transparent to this day. So, yeah, just very grateful to have you on here today, and thank you for sharing that with us. Now, let's kind of get into these Rec Dragons. So these are basically a meme, if you will, NFT that anybody can go ahead and mint if they have a Dragon wallet, correct?
So the thing is that you need to have a Terra wallet, and there are different, let's call it levels. So you need to have been wrecked on Terra. So it's not like you can create a Dragon wallet today and then go and claim it and be like, yeah, I got wrecked on Terra. We really wanted to make this available to the community that got wrecked with us. And so, yes, you can theoretically make a Terra wallet and go claim a spot in the mint. But when we go to do the mint on the other chain, you won't be minting. Only people that got wrecked. Only people that got wrecked on Terra or had a Levana NFT before the DPEG will be allowed to mint.
Got it. All right. So everybody watching right now should understand that these aren't necessarily just you go and mint them. You actually had to face some damage to get one of these Rec Dragons.
Exactly. That's that was really the whole point, is that we recognize that through adversity and through hard work and through participation and through grind, we've all experienced something together, and it has formed us into the the remnants or the ashes. So we're going to be the Phoenix Dragons of this experience, and that's really important to us, that we can bring the community with us and say, okay, it was a terrible thing that happened to so many of us, but we're going to come out stronger on the other side.
Awesome. Yes, very nice. So I'm curious myself in regards to, I was very eager to hatch my dragons. I got all my dragon eggs, my ancients, my rares, a few commons, spent a lot of money on the dust. I was ready to customize them, hatch them. So let us know kind of, if you could, what's the deal with hatching the dragons and customizing? How long will it be delayed until you migrate chains? Any answers about that?
Absolutely. So we are, hey everyone in the chat. It's so nice to be loved. Thanks for having me. So we are, we're spending most of our time. I mean, let's put it like this. Okay. So imagine that we're a team of like 30 people. And so, and in there is like, HR and ops and security and everything else. Okay. Mm-hmm. So let's imagine that you break that down into, 22 or 23 people that are, deving, and whether that is on design and implementation, or that's on the DeFi products, or that's on, the perpetual swap, or that's on doing research of the chains. So we wanted to take the best and biggest look that we could at all of the possible chains and all of our possible homes. So we've been meeting with, deep diving on, already starting to try to port and run some experiments, et cetera, to make sure that we have viability wherever we go as fast as we can. Now, having said all that, it's obviously not going to be like flip a switch and turn it back on and it all just works. Mm-hmm. If we were a PFP project where, we had minted 10,000 zoo animals to start with, okay, great. Just take your PNG files and move over to another chain and say, hey, can you mint these for me? Right? Like remint these for me. Oh, that's pretty easy. But we're not a zoo project NFT. Like that's not us. And mm-hmm. So, people got frustrated saying, well, why can't I warp? We're calling it warping. Why can't I warp my meteors and my unnested eggs? Well, the problem with that is we'd have to then build cracking, and we'd have to build nesting, and then we'd have to rebuild the whole system in a new chain. And every single one of those elements that we would rebuild, is anywhere from 3 to 6 weeks. Right. And so looking forward, I did say, we do have more than a year of runway, but you can't spend that runway going backwards to build stuff from 6 months ago that you deployed that people didn't catch up with, because that would be unfair, I think, to everybody else. We used 3 months of runway in order to build backwards. And so we had to make the hard call. We had to be the adults in the room and say, okay, this is what we were left with in terms of the treasury. This is how we move forward. We had to make a plan. We had to, do a very quick data analysis to figure out how many people, how much time, what the dev resources were according to, all the chains that we were looking at and negotiating with. And so I think that we've made the best decision for everybody. Obviously, there are going to be people along the way that feel like, we've singled them out, or that it wasn't fair. Like somebody messaged me very angrily saying, I'm on 2-week vacation. I can't access my ledger. You've stolen my eggs. So I'm so sorry. At the same time, Classic has gone down multiple times. It may not be live in a week. I don't know. I have no way of knowing that. Like, it's just, I can't take responsibility for other people's decisions, but I also can't guarantee that I can get valid data. So should I put the whole community aside? Should I say, okay, these 120,000 NFTs I'm going to, put in jeopardy because somebody's on vacation for 2 weeks? I can't do that, right? We can't do that. And so I do feel so terribly. I do feel so terribly, but at the same time, we have to make the decisions that are going to benefit the majority of our players. And those are hard decisions to make. And it's painful, and I understand that. And if you're the person on the outside of the line, it's like, God, this sucks. And I agree, the whole thing sucks, right? But you've got to think about the whole community, and you've got to think about everybody that's involved, and then you've got to try to make the best decisions that you can. Are we going to make mistakes? Absolutely. We're human, but we really do our best, and we gather all the managers in the room before we make decisions like that, and we fight it out, and people represent different points of view, and we really do come to consensus. So I feel pretty positive about the decisions that we've made, and those are, meteors are not warping. eggs are not warping. The things that are warping with us are loot, your dragons, meaning nested eggs, and your dust. So if you have any of those three things in Levana, then what you want to do is come and create a Dragon wallet. And you can do that at dragonwallet.levana.finance. So it's a pretty painless process. You have to sign a transaction, so that what we're doing is, like I said, it's a luggage tag. What we're doing essentially is tagging your Terra Station wallet and giving it like an identifier that we can connect with, which is your Dragon wallet. Your Dragon wallet has a seed phrase, but it's not a holding wallet. It doesn't contain your NFTs. You're not moving anything anywhere. All you're doing is making a connection so that we can know at that final snapshot, hey, this person held these things, and when we move to the new chain, I need to recreate those things and give them to them. Mm-hmm. That's essentially what we're doing there. And then again, it serves as a method for minting a wrecked dragon as well. It'll serve as a method for us giving bonuses. It's going to serve a lot of purposes, but it was important to us that we have that mechanism and we put it into place as fast as possible, because as of last Thursday night, Terra started introducing updates and changes with no documentation. And as you know, if you're on the Terra blockchain, things started breaking. All of a sudden, you couldn't transfer and you couldn't swap, and then you couldn't execute, and then only mobile worked, and then only desktop worked, and then only, on a Nano, only Android worked from a mobile. And it got really scary again. It was just like the DPEG event, which again was a lack of information and a lack of distributed information, and everybody literally just like running for the hills, mm-hmm. trying to help one another, not understanding what was happening. And so, all we're trying to do is secure our community and our committed players so that they can have the best chance at recovery and at, becoming whole moving forward.
Absolutely. Yeah,
that might have been a really long answer. I apologize.
No,
I apologize for that, but
I appreciate you sharing the details. And I'm sure the audience does as well. And I agree. You can't make everybody happy. Somebody's going to be on vacation and miss it. That's unfortunate. That's life, right? A lot of times in life, it's like this close where, it's just how things work out. Things work out very closely. So, if you can go and create your Dragon wallet right now, if you're available to do so, I've already created mine, and you were given an extra bonus reward if you made it before June 1st, correct?
Correct. There was an extra bonus before June 1st, which is going to be tasty. I can say that. Cool. But again, if you didn't create it before June 1st, you're still eligible for the wrecked Dragon Mint, which is essentially another bonus, and you still have until June 8th. So we're continuing to dev and to deliver and to try to provide really fun experiences. I mean, this isn't the last thing, right? So, but I think I want to shout out and give credit to my team, who basically just created an entire collection of 10,000 wrecked dragons in a week and a half. So, and deployed it on a broken chain. Terra Classic is totally broken, and supported. We've already had I think there's almost 4,000 wallets created, and supported 4,000 players to create those wallets through, I think it was 27 or 28 updates that every time they updated broke the chain again and, broke the implementation, and we had to start all over again. So I think that we've done an exceptional job of trying to understand and feel and commiserate with the community, and at the same time move forward. I don't know how else we could have done it.
Neither do I, really. So I think you guys are doing an amazing job. I credit you and your team for sticking with it and, not hiding in this time of adversity where, where we need leaders to step up and take action. And you guys are definitely doing that and moving along forward. I can see we have some people in the chat commenting about, dough. We got Ben saying pour from dough again. Yeah, it's a sticky situation for sure, how everything played out. And I can't imagine the pressure that Doe must be feeling in times like this. So, credit to the Levana team for not, shying away from the adversity and working through the fire.
Thank you. I do. There's somebody in the chat that said decisions need to be voted by egg holders. So would that be nested egg holders? Would that be all egg holders? Would that be meteor holders? Would that be, that's a 24-hour window then, every single time that you want to make a decision. What decisions would you want to have voted by egg holders? Like, we could go on, and then you get back to analysis paralysis, where, and then there's groups of people that hold 500 eggs, for example. Like, we know that there are guilds that are holding a ton of eggs, and they might sway the vote to do what's best for the guild, but not what's best for individual players. Excuse me. Or not what's best for Levana. You know, part of this is we also have to make decisions that are, is this a sustainable decision that Levana can stand by, right? So obviously people would have been like, well, I want to keep my meteors, I'm going to vote for that. Okay, well, that's great, but we can't deliver a future and the past at the same time. So you would have cut off your nose to spite your face a little bit. You know, again, we do take decisions by committee. Where we can, we poll the community, and where we need very fast decisions, if they have to be made internally, I think is really reasonable. And there have been decisions, you know, like, you know, even financial decisions. Like, I know other protocols and groups where everything was in a multi-sig, and then somebody was away. They had the bad luck of being away on May 7th, and they lost their whole treasury just because of that.
Right.
They couldn't make a decision fast enough. And then by the time they turned around and they're like, I'll go to sleep, you know, it'll be fine. Like, I'll just, you know, maybe it'll go down by 20%, maybe it'll go up, maybe we'll reclaim the peg. And by the morning, they were wiped out.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No
just
worries.
getting over COVID. And I've been sick since permissionless, so
no worries.
I may have hit my limit a little bit as how much I can talk to you.
Got it. Well, if you need me to just go on and talk for a little bit, I can go ahead and do so while you kind of recover.
I'm taking a drink. Yeah.
Yeah, go for that.
I'm having some. Thank you.
All right. So anybody in the live audience watching right now, I appreciate you joining me. Go ahead and smash the like button for Levana Protocol for Mimi joining us today. Also, if you're new and not already subscribed to Crypto Empire, go ahead and smash that subscribe button as well and turn on all the notifications so that you don't miss any future videos, including Levana Protocol updates on videos that I make as well in the future. Now, I do want to kind of get into the bridging over to a different chain. I know you can't give any details on which blockchain you're going to move to. That decision has not been made yet. And, you know, in regards to what you just said about the egg holders making decisions, and Ala from the audience kind of saying that, you know, I do agree that the big decisions need to be made by a leader. A leader needs to step up and make the decisions, which in this case is the team. But everybody's curious. Terra 2.0, obviously it would be very easy, I feel like, to deploy all of the existing code on Terra 2.0, but, you know, a lot of people, I'm sure, don't have the most fondest feelings for Terra 2.0. So I know you cannot give a detail on which chain you're moving to. I know you don't even know the answer yourself just yet, but just kind of the discussions that you have had with the team. Are you leaning towards a Cosmos SDK chain, something like Juno Osmosis, or would you consider going to maybe an EVM chain, not Ethereum, or maybe a lower fee chain, layer 2, such as Polygon, Matic, etc.? What's the thought process been like in regards to that?
So that's a really great question. I'm like a little bit saddened that I feel like I might leave you disappointed by my answer, but my answer is like this. No, I have to just be very honest. My answer is like this. We are in advanced negotiations with a number of parties. I can't really speak to our plans because I feel like it would be detrimental to the future of the project if I were to do so. I can tell you that we have a spreadsheet that's in our Discord that has like 15 different blockchains on it, with I think it's like 60 different rows for each one with deep dive investigations. We are taking this so seriously. I mean, I don't think that it was kind of funny. Jonathan and I were speaking about it the other day. I think we've probably done. He was saying that before he came to Terra, it was like a year-long investigation process for him.
Right.
And now we're trying to do all of that in 4 weeks. You know, Terra was the ideal home for us. That's why we chose it.
Mm-hmm.
There was no second home that we felt like was going to be equivalent, and so that's why we chose it. That's probably still true today. So it's disheartening, but decisions will have to be made, and hopefully we'll, as soon as we have a decision, we will let everybody know. The only other thing that I wanted to say is that making the assumption that Terra 2 is basically Terra Classic, just reskinned, is really not correct. Obviously, the reason being, like, there is no peg stablecoin,
Yeah.
right? And so all of the designs for the perpetual swaps for our financial products, um, they're like that. You can't just port that over and be like, hey, here's my code. But also, there's no NFT marketplace, and like, nothing works. And so you can't just dump your NFTs into a vacuum. Those contracts would have to be rewritten. They'd all have to be audited. There's probably two plus months of work there, even though it's Terra 2 and not Terra Classic. And as we've seen over the last week, there's been like 27 or 28 updates that have, broken everything at various times. At one point, it was like every hour, almost on the hour, there was something that was a breaking update. So it's not as simple as it might seem.
Understood. That makes
it's not
sense.
as straight. It's really not as straightforward. And I'll be honest, we did try to deploy on Terra 2 just to test some stuff out, and we spent 4 hours on a pretty simple contract, and we couldn't get it to work, and so we abandoned it. We were actually going to try to do the Dragon wallets on Terra 2, and we had to abandon it. We couldn't get it done in time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's with super experienced Rust developers who are absolute experts in their field. So there's no documentation. It's a challenge. So, yeah.
Makes sense. So I'm curious, when you say high-level negotiations, that means basically teams or other blockchains and members from their team are pitching you and Levana.
Are courting us. Yes,
yeah.
we are being aggressively courted. And again, you can ask yourself why. So we essentially are 5 products. We are 5 products in one. We never went dark. We have not gone quiet. We have an incredible community. We have the most beautiful and functional and fun NFTs in the space, I think, at all. Like, not just on Terra. And people want to play. And so, everybody basically. We went to permissionless in Florida, and I think we had like 32 meetings. I mean, we were. It was like being the belle of the ball.
Right.
I'd never seen anything like it. And again, unfortunately, I got COVID at the end of that trip, and so I've been sick ever since. But it's been nonstop, really nonstop. And it's a testament to the community. It's a testament to the team.
Absolutely. Yeah, you definitely shows that you guys are doing something right. If all of the top blockchains out there are pitching you guys on why you should go ahead and migrate to their chain. Obviously, you guys have something big brewing here, and I'm very excited for the future. Now, let's go ahead and see what is going on with our live audience today. We have Mr. Sellers Holmes, who says he definitely thinks the team did us right by taking the reins and direction of the project. There's a high chance of failure if left to an NFT community of people who just got wrecked. I do agree with that. When people lose money, they tend to get very emotional, and when you're emotional, you don't tend to make the best decisions. So again, great job to the Levana team for taking the reins, taking the steering wheel, and leading everybody, including the community at large, in the right direction. So we also have Austin Craig Lanzi saying, talismans from other wallets, if sent to the primary wallet, which is warped to Dragon 1, will also get rewarded for additional spirit level? ?
That is it's like we're speaking another language,
yes,
right?
Pretty much.
All right. So I want to answer that question. I do think it's important. So like this, if you had a talisman and you unstaked it yourself, then you can easily move it around, and it will obviously get the spirit level that it was intended to, because it's in whatever wallet you put it into, because you unstaked it. Okay. And at a certain point, again, Terra Classic went down. We couldn't get transactions to move. And so we decided, let's make it easier for everyone. We spent a night coding all night so we could unstake the talismans by force for everyone. Okay, but that means your talisman is then unstaked to the origination wallet that you unstaked it to. So imagine a scenario where you're like, oh, but my primary wallet is another wallet, and I made a Dragon wallet to that. But now you have a talisman that's unstaked to that origination wallet. If you don't warp it, it's not going to move. So if you do move it over, if you do send that talisman that we unstaked to another wallet, you'll be fine. But if you forget about it and you don't move it, then you won't be fine unless you've made a Dragon wallet for that talisman. So like if you had, you know, there were people playing multiple talismans, you need to go and make a Dragon wallet for each one, or you have to remember and go move them to another wallet that has a Dragon wallet associated.
Got it.
I hope that that's clear.
No, that's clear. So myself, I was playing with multiple wallets. So I didn't unstake any of my talismans. I just made multiple Dragon wallets. So I don't need to do anything, right? I'm good.
I'm sorry. Say that again.
So I was playing with multiple wallets, and I never unstaked any talismans, but I did make multiple Dragon wallets. So I should be covered, correct?
Great. So then yours were all unstaked for you, and if you made Dragon wallets for all of those, you are good to go. And cool. When you made them, you should have seen the talisman in your Dragon wallet.
Okay, I didn't double check. I just did it very quickly. But after the
all right,
live
well, you
stream,
can go. You can go and connect. Like all you have to do is connect to those wallets, and check what's in there. You can still see it. It tells you what's going to work. Just don't remake the wallets, because then you'd have to save the seed phrase again.
Right.
Just connect to it, but don't like make a new one.
Yes. This is not my main wallet on this computer, so just want to see what it looks like for the live audience as well. Yeah, I haven't created a
All right,
Dragon
and you
wallet
can pull up, by the way, you can pull up like one of the Rec Dragons, or you can go to the Rec Dragon site, or we can go to the Discord and you can see the... Wow, I can't breathe. Okay. Unfortunately, I may have to cut this short with you because
no worries.
I can't breathe well, but...
I understand. I understand. No worries about that. So let's go ahead and check out the... Before you do go, I understand if you need to cut it short, just let us know. But
I think I probably have about 5 more minutes left in me, and then...
All right, guys.
I was on a call last night with somebody, and I coughed so much I threw up. So I don't want to get to that stage.
No, we definitely don't want that. So, guys, we got Mimi for 5 more minutes. So if you have a question, now is the time to ask inside of the live stream chat. You are looking on my screen now at what the Rec Dragons do look like. So if you've created your Dragon wallet, go ahead and get yourself a Rec Dragon. As you can see, some McDonald's fast food hats, very appropriate for the Rect community now. And
yeah, so I want to be clear about what the Rec Dragon situation is. So again, if you were in Terra and you didn't have Levana NFTs, you are welcome to mint a Rec Dragon and join our community and join us. And what that means is you're going to create a Dragon wallet at rekt.levana.finance. You're going to subscribe to the email list, and we can update you to let you know when we're going to actually mint. You're going to claim your spot on the mint. There are 10,000 of these to be had. We are going to check and verify that you actually did get wrecked on Terra. If you didn't get wrecked on Terra, you're not going to be able to mint. And then when we warp to our new chain, we are going to send you a message, and you're going to see it on all of our social channels to come and mint one of these dragons on our new chain.
Perfect.
So we're not minting today. I want to be clear, like, we're not minting today. And people were like, why don't you just mint on Terra Classic? And to that, I just laughed. I'm not minting anything on Terra Classic. That's not happening.
I agree.
I think, yeah, that's ridiculous. So we're not minting anything on Terra Classic. You will be minting with us on our new chain. There are 12 or 13 different professions. There are, I think, 5 or 6 different emotional, let's call them mental health statuses. There's a whole bunch of fun backgrounds and different props and eyewear and hats and all sorts of things. It's a really fun collection, and we love them. So I hope that you will too.
Amazing. Perfect. Well, Mimi, I don't want to keep you too long. I definitely want you to be able to recover. So we're going to go ahead and start wrapping up the live stream now. It was definitely a good live stream. We definitely got a lot of critical information out of you. So thank you for sharing all of the information that you did share with us today. And the crypto empire community at large is very grateful that you went ahead and took the time out of your day to join me for this live stream. So thank you, and definitely hope to have you, Jonathan, Elon, back as well in the future when we do have more kind of updates and answers. So if you guys are up for that, definitely would like to have a rerun of a live stream when we do have kind of more information. But with that being said, Mimi, I know you're not feeling too well. So any final words before we go ahead and wrap up the stream?
I really just, I want to thank everyone. I think, as a community, we've been through just a really difficult and emotional and devastating time. And, be kind to yourself and be kind to everybody around you. Take care of yourself. At the end of the day, it is just money. It's not your health. It's not your life. And I know that the scars are going to last for a long time. But if you can take a step back and take a moment and realize that, however we got here, we can get somewhere else. And so, I would encourage you to come with us on this journey. There is a bright future ahead. And we still absolutely believe both in the community and in what we were building together. We believe in DeFi and we are all going to make it. So that's it. Thank you.
Beautiful. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Mimi. We'll see you next time, and we'll see you in the Levana official Discord, Telegram groups, etc. Anybody watching this right now who's not already familiar with Levana, I've covered it a lot on the channel. Go ahead and join their official Discord. Get up to speed. Ask questions in there. And create your Dragon wallet if you haven't created it already. But that's going to go ahead, and we're going to start concluding the live stream right now. So thank you, everybody, for joining. Again, if you're not already subscribed to Crypto Empire, smash up that subscribe button down below. And with that being said, have an amazing rest of your day or night wherever you are in the world. I will be making more content about Levana in the future, just as I have done in the past. I'm very excited for the future of Levana still. It's unfortunate what did happen with Terra, but it is what it is. We learn from the mistakes, we fix the mistakes, and we rebuild and make it better in the future as well. So, Mimi, amazing. Thank you for joining me. And everybody watching, have a great rest of your day. Going to go ahead and end the stream now. See you all in the next video.
Thanks again, Connor. Cheers.
No problem. Cheers, Mimi.